Davenport Assumption. That one is in the second period with a minute to go. Leisure of Clear Lake putting a big ride on it. Now, if Leisure of Clear Lake can ride out Fenske this whole entire period, that's going to give him a big advantage going into the third period. So if he chooses down, gets a one-point escape, that might be all it takes to win the match.
Yeah, and this defensive struggle, 0-0s, that's what he's got to be looking for. He's got to be able to keep him down. Don't look for him to cut him here.
Start of the third period down here on mat number 4 between Cleveland of New Hampton and Curry of Sergeant Bluff. Sergeant Bluff, Curry's choice. He chooses down, scores 5-3. He's up to his feet, trying to get hand control. Cleveland does a good job. Drops back down in the double and picks him up and puts him down. Continuing to ride him tough there with the 5-3 lead in the third period. This is a big round. This is the round, the semifinal round. A lot of times is even more so exciting than the final sometimes, just because the guys know that this is their opportunity. They haven't gotten there yet. They haven't made it to the Saturday night dances, as some like to call it. So they work hard in this match to try and make sure that they get to the finals. And then what happens is you get to the finals and you don't want to make a mistake because you got here and you want to make sure you do a good job and squeak, get a victory or whatever. But a lot of times the fur flies a lot more in the semis than it does the finals even.
I'm glad you brought that up because I've always felt that way, that my favorite round is always the semifinals, because it just seems like the guys are letting it all hang out because they've got to get to that finals. And then when you get there, like you mentioned, boy, I can't lose this. So they tend to get a little defensive. Not all the time, but boy, it happens a lot more than often. Cleveland's still holding on. This is the tight match so far that we've got started here at 106. Cleveland's ahead 5-4 from New Hampton over Curry. Fenske and Leisure still knotted at 0.
Coming up next will be the 120s and the 126s on the mat.
Well, 120 just took the mat over there on mat number 5. That's Gould of Davenport Assumption. He's taking on Cox of Atlantic. Dylan Cox of Atlantic. Dylan Cox was 48-5, a senior coming in. Gould of Davenport Assumption was 36-5 as a senior coming in. Two seniors going at it over there in the first period, with Gould up 2-0.
And there's a win for Keller also at 106. Our first match on mat 3. Keller gets the victory, so he's moving on to the finals. Gould from Assumption, as you mentioned, last year at 3rd place at 113. He was a 7th place finisher as a freshman, or as a sophomore. He's a senior.
He's struggling right now. 5-4 is the score. Just 15 seconds with still a lot of time to try and get a takedown, but Cleveland takes a shot on him. A lot of times that's a good thing to do, is when you're in the lead, actually stay on that offense. But now Sergeant Bluff's Curry goes for a headlock and actually got it, but Cleveland rolls him through. Scramble situation here. No points awarded. I think that was a good call by the referee right there. There was never any control there. So it will be Cleveland of New Hampton right there pulling that out at the end, winning 5-4 over Curry of Sergeant Bluff. Boy, that's what makes wrestling fun right there. It's not over until the last second ticks off the clock.
Exactly, and he knew that too. And of course, everybody, Curry thought that he had something there, but I think they made the right call. So a big win for Cleveland. Sophomores going to the finals. Now we have Blake Luna up on mat 3. And he's taking on Johnny Etherington of Charles City. That's a number 5 versus number 3 matchup. Etherington number 3, Luna number 5 at 120.
Mat number 6 with 15 seconds to go. Not a lot of time left in that one.
Yeah, Leisure finally has a lead in that one, though. He's up 2-1 over Fenske. And that looks like it's going to hold up as time winds out there. So a tough hit for Davenport Assumption there.
So Leisure of Clear Lake right there is going to be taken on Rathbun of Center Point Urbana. 2 black and gold schools going to be going at in the finals. Leisure from Clear Lake.
And the Storm and Pointer. Rathbun of Center Point Urbana.
Freshman versus sophomore.
Semifinal match, number 6 at 126.
Starting to go through these things, trying to write them down, talk, and follow the wrestling all at once. It's not an easy job, Alan.
No, it's not. And there's 4 mats to follow all the way through here, too. And a lot of weight classes coming through to make it happen as well.
Yeah, so we have Gould, Brennan Gould and Cox on mat 5. And Luna Luna Etherington on mat 3, and now down here on mat 4, we're moving up to 26. This should be Darian Schwenke and Shadow Leshin. Mark Shadow Leshin set a record in this state for coming into a postseason tournament with 58 wins, unheard of. I don't know how you can get that many wins coming in. I don't know what these say, but he had 58 wins after districts. Unbelievable. I don't even know how you can get to that.
Well, his record right here after 2 matches into the tournament so far, he's 60-0, so that stands true. I think when I wrestled in high school, I got 30, maybe 40 matches in the entire year. It's a lot of matches.
It's amazing that they can get so many nowadays. It has been growing. You hear a lot of your 2- and 3-time champions. The numbers are outstanding. Amazing how many wins they pick up. Shadow Leshin, he's a 3-time place winner, of course, 2-time runner-up. And 58 matches is just a lot of work. Taking on a very tough Schwenke here from Atlantic.
The other thing is that's a lot of weigh-ins.
That definitely is. For a 126-pounder, he better be comfortable at that weight to be able to pull that off. Schwenke's number 3. Leshin is number 1. And Leshin also got 8th as a freshman, as I mentioned, 2-time runner-up. Schwenke's had a lot of injuries. This kid's really tough. A stud senior who's never placed, there's a lot of that because it's a tough sport. You don't always place it, no matter how good you are. Injuries step up and bite you.
Tough match going on over to 3 as well, as Luna is able to get an escape over there, and looks like he goes up 3-1.
He's taking on Arrington of Central City, 28-3 junior coming into this match. Right down here on mat number 6, the green singlet on top, that's Jennings of Osage. Taking on Phillips, West Delaware.
Brady Jennings, older brother of Brock Jennings. Big freshman for Osage. Brady has been around, 2-time place winner, a 5th place winning. Finished last year at 120. He was 6th as a freshman at 113. Kind of a mismatch here. Phillips has come, he's 8th rated, guys, but he wasn't given a lot of hope in this bracket coming in here. A very tough weight class. But he's made it this far, and he's running up against Jennings here. Doing well so far, just down 2-0.
Leishan of Albia and Schwenke of Atlantic tied up 0-0 at the end of that first period. Now it's Leishan of Albia gets a 1-point escape in the second period. Remember, Leishan was 60-0 coming into this match. Schwenke of Atlantic only 50-1. So out of 110 matches, they've got 1 loss between the 2 of them.
Amazing.
What was their rankings coming into this?
Number 1 and number 3. Leshin is number 1. Schwenke number 3 ranked in the predicaments rankings. The rankings have held up really well, Mark. We only have 1, if you can believe this, out of the 14 weight classes, the 4 finalists at each weight. We only have 1 unranked wrestler. So they found a way to get through these brackets. Remember, folks, they're not seeded. It's just a template. It's random draw. They throw them in there, and what you get, that's why we saw Carter Happel wrestling Hunter Washburn a little bit earlier in the 1A quarters.
That was a 1 versus a 2.
It happens.
Jennings from Osage almost out on the bottom. Thought he was going to get a reversal there. Down there on that red mat, mat number 6. Trying to come up in the air with it here. Wrestling West Delaware, Manchester's Phillips. Sam Phillips, 41-4 senior on the year. He does get that reversal. Jennings from Osage.
And folks, if you're watching your mat at home on our screen here, you see the big split screen. You see all 4 mats. We may not be saying a lot about your match. We apologize for that. Trying to watch 4 at once is a little tougher than we thought. However, you can clearly see the score in the middle there, and you can see your mat. And just as long as you know who's red and who's green, you're in good shape. We'll try to get you as much coverage as we can now.
And if you can't, having a hard time reading the screen, the MT on the far left, that's the mat. So right underneath that MT, it says a 3. So mat number 3. And the next one is WT, which is the weight. So 120 bout, which people back home have no idea what that is going to do for them because they probably don't have a bout sheet in front of them like what we do.
If you printed that off online, though, you're in good shape.
Yeah, you're in really good shape. And obviously the score and the time. And the PR on the far right with the numbers underneath those are the periods. What period that they're in, either 1, 2, or 3. Right now, Matt's 3, 4, and 5 are all in the third periods. And then Matt number 6 is still in the second. So that's what makes it hard, too. We got 3 matches going to be all ended in about the same time here, funneling new people in.
4 new bouts after this. All of these tight except Jennings' match, really. He's up 4-1 with 36 seconds left in the second period.
And look at Luna over on mat 3, 11 seconds remaining, and he's up 3-2.
Luna holding on.
Right down there on mat number 5, it was Gould of Davenport Assumption winning over Cox of Atlantic by a score of 2-0. So Davenport Assumption advances another one to the finals.
And Luna wins.
Gould over Cox. So big win for the senior Luna over the junior Etherington. Charles City. Luna advances. He'll take on Brendan Gould. Brendan Gould, the second-ranked wrestler. Blake Luna, number 5. So there's your 120 finals for tomorrow. Still have Leshin and Swanky.
All tied up 1-1 right now.